My beloved child, listen. Michael, need to talk to you, and it has to be now. If you are hearing these words at this moment, it is not by accident. There are times in life when a message must reach someone exactly when they need it the most. This is one of those moments. I ask you to pause for a second, clear your mind, and listen carefully to what is about to be said. Because what you hear right now could change the way you see the situations unfolding in your life. The guidance often connected with Archangel Michael is always about protection, courage, and truth. And the truth is that many people walk through life ignoring the quiet signals meant to guide them. They rush from one day to another, distracted by worries, noise, and endless responsibilities. But sometimes there comes a moment when the message must be loud enough that it cannot be ignored. This is that moment. You may have been feeling something unusual lately. Maybe there is a sense that something in your life is about to shift. Perhaps situations around you have been changing faster than you expected. Certain people may be leaving your life while others suddenly appear. Plans may not be working the way they once did, and you might be wondering why everything feels different. The reason is simple: life is trying to move you forward. Many people resist change because they feel comfortable with what they already know. Even if a situation is not perfect, it can still feel safer than stepping into the unknown. But growth rarely happens inside comfort. Growth happens when someone is willing to face uncertainty and still keep moving. This is why the message symbolically associated with Archangel Michael speaks strongly about courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to continue even when fear is present. Right now you may be standing at an invisible crossroads in your life. One path leads to the same patterns you have been living for a long time. The other path leads to new possibilities that require faith, patience, and determination. The choice between those two paths is something only you can make. But there is something you must understand. Ignoring the signs that appear in your life can cause you to miss opportunities that were meant for you. Sometimes people wait too long to act. They delay decisions, hoping for clearer signals, and by the time they realize the opportunity was real, it has already passed. This message is a reminder not to fall into that trap. Instead of ignoring what your instincts are telling you, pay attention. Think about the situations you have been facing recently. Are there changes you know you need to make? Are there goals you keep delaying because you are afraid they might fail? Are there relationships or habits that you know no longer help you grow? Being honest about these questions can be uncomfortable, but it is often the first step toward transformation. When people speak about the strength connected with Archangel Michael, they often describe it as a protective force that encourages individuals to stand firmly in their purpose. It reminds people that they are stronger than their doubts and more capable than their fears. You were not meant to stay stuck in the same place forever. Your experiences, your struggles, and your lessons have been shaping you into someone who can handle greater opportunities and responsibilities. But to reach those opportunities, you must be willing to move forward. Take a moment right now and think about the direction your life is heading. Ask yourself whether your daily actions are bringing you closer to the future you truly want. If the answer is no, then this moment can become the turning point where everything begins to change. Remember that transformation does not always happen overnight. Sometimes it begins with a single decision to think differently, act differently, and believe differently about what is possible. If you listen carefully to the message behind these words, you may begin to notice something powerful. The strength you have been searching for has been inside you all along. And the moment you decide to use that strength may be the moment your life begins moving in a completely new direction. You are still here listening, then this message continues for a reason. The guidance symbolically associated with Archangel Michael is not meant to frighten you, but to wake you up to something important that may already be unfolding in your life. Too many people ignore the quiet warnings and gentle reminders that appear before a major shift happens. They keep repeating the same habits, the same decisions, and the same doubts, even when their inner voice is telling them that something must change. Right now, that inner voice may already be speaking to you. Perhaps you have felt a growing sense that your life is moving toward a different direction. Maybe certain situations have been testing your patience more than usual. Some doors may have closed unexpectedly, leaving you wondering why things did not work out the way you hoped. At first those moments might have felt like failures or disappointments. But sometimes closed doors are not punishments. Sometimes they are protection. Messages often connected with Archangel Michael remind people that what seems like a setback today can become a powerful turning point tomorrow. When something leaves your life, it may be creating space for something that aligns better with your future. At the time it can feel confusing or unfair, but later many people realize that those moments redirected them towards something far better. Think about the experiences you have faced recently. Were there situations where you felt pushed to grow stronger than before? Did you face decisions that forced you to rethink what truly matters to you? These moments may not have been easy, but they often prepare someone for the next stage of their journey. Growth requires preparation. And preparation often arrives through challenges. This is why the message connected with Archangel Michael continues to emphasize awareness. When life begins shifting around you, the most important thing you can do is remain conscious of what those changes might be teaching you. Instead of resisting every difficulty, try to understand the lesson hidden inside it. For example, some challenges teach patience. Others teach resilience. Some experiences reveal who truly supports you, while others show which paths are not meant for your future. Every lesson you learn strengthens your ability to handle what comes next. That many people overlook. You cannot step into a new chapter of life while holding tightly to everything from the old one. Growth sometimes requires letting go of certain fears, expectations, or attachments that have been limiting your progress. This does not mean forgetting the past. It means using the past as wisdom instead of allowing it to become a burden. Imagine trying to walk forward while carrying heavy weights in both hands. Eventually those weights slow you down until moving becomes almost impossible. The same thing happens when someone carries too much regret, anger, or doubt from their past experiences. Letting go of those emotional weights can create space for clarity and opportunity. That is why the strength symbolically linked with Archangel Michael is often described as the courage to release what no longer serves your growth. When you do this, you allow new possibilities to enter your life more freely. So take a moment to think about what you might still be holding on to. Is there something from your past that continues to influence your decisions today? Is there a fear that stops you from pursuing the future you truly want? Recognizing these things is not a sign of weakness. In fact, it is often the first step toward becoming stronger and more confident than you have Eve. If you are still listening to this message, then there is something important you need to understand. The guidance often connected with Archangel Michael is not about fear or punishment, but about awakening awareness at the right moment. Many people move through life distracted by worries, routines, and the noise of everyday responsibilities. Because of this, they miss the quiet moments when life is trying to guide them towards something better. Right now, you may be standing at one of those moments where awareness matters more than ever. Think about the changes that have been happening around you recently. Maybe certain situations have become more difficult than before. Maybe people you trusted started acting differently, or plans that once seemed clear suddenly became uncertain. At first, these experiences can feel confusing, but they often appear when life is preparing someone for a new direction. What seems like chaos on the surface can actually be a process that is rearranging things in your life so that you can grow stronger and wiser. Messages symbolically associated with Archangel Michael often remind people that true strength is revealed during uncertain moments. Anyone can feel confident when everything is going well, but real courage appears when someone continues moving forward even when they cannot see the entire path ahead. If you have been facing challenges lately, it may not mean you are on the wrong path. Sometimes it simply means you are being prepared for something greater than what you expected before. There is also another truth many people forget. Life does not always change through dramatic events. Sometimes transformation begins quietly inside a person's mind. It begins with a realization that the old way of thinking is no longer enough. It begins with the decision to stop doubting your own potential and start believing that your future can be different from your past. When this shift happens inside your thoughts, it slowly begins influencing your actions, your choices, and eventually the direction your life takes. This is why awareness is so important at this moment. Instead of ignoring what you feel inside, pay attention to it. If your instincts tell you that something in your life needs to change, do not silence that voice too quickly. Many people spend years ignoring their intuition, only to realize later that it was trying to guide them all along. The strength symbolically connected with Archangel Michael is often described as the courage to listen to that inner guidance even when others may not understand it. Another important part of growth is learning to trust the timing of life. Not every opportunity appears when we expect it, and not every answer comes immediately. Sometimes patience is required before the bigger picture becomes clear. But patience does not mean doing nothing. It means continuing to improve yourself, continuing to learn, and continuing to move forward step by step while trusting that the effort you invest today will eventually lead you somewhere meaningful. So if this message reached you today, take a moment to reflect on your journey so far. Think about the obstacles you have overcome, the lessons you have learned, and the strength you have developed along the way. Those experiences were not meaningless. They were shaping you into someone capable of handling the opportunities and responsibilities that may appear in your future. And the moment you begin to recognize your own strength may be the exact moment your life begins moving in a new direction. If you have stayed with this message until now, then the next thing you must understand is that moments like this often appear when a person is very close to an important realization. The guidance symbolically connected with Archangel Michael reminds people that awareness is powerful. When someone begins paying attention to their life with honesty, they start noticing patterns they once ignored. They begin seeing which situations are helping them grow and which ones are quietly holding them back. Many people continue living in the same cycle for years because they are afraid to question it. They wake up, repeat the same routines, tolerate the same problems, and convince themselves that nothing can change. But deep inside, there is usually a quiet voice that knows something better is possible. That voice may not shout, but it speaks through intuition, through feelings, and sometimes through moments of reflection like this one. Think about the path you have been walking lately. Are your daily choices bringing you closer to the future you truly want, or are they keeping you in the same place you have been for a long time? This is not a question meant to make you feel guilty. It is a question meant to help you recognize your power to change direction whenever you decide to. Messages often associated with Archangel Michael frequently talk about courage because courage is what transforms realization into action. It is one thing to know that change is needed, and it is another thing entirely to take the first step toward that change. The moment someone decides to act with courage, even in small ways, their life slowly begins to shift. Sometimes that shift begins with something simple. It could be choosing to develop a new skill, ending a negative habit, speaking honestly about your goals, or refusing to continue in situations that drain your energy. These actions might seem small at first, Another truth many people learn during their journey is that not everyone will understand the path you choose. When someone begins growing or changing, the people around them may react in different ways. Some will support and encourage you, while others may doubt or question your decisions. This is a natural part of growth. Every person's journey is different, and sometimes your path will only make sense to you. The symbolism connected with Archangel Michael is often described as protection and strength during those moments when someone chooses to stay true to their purpose. It reminds people that their worth and potential are not determined by the opinions of others but by the dedication they show toward becoming the best version of themselves. Right now, this message invites you to pause and reflect on what truly matters in your life. Think about your dreams, your goals, and the kind of future you want to create. Ask yourself whether you are giving those dreams the attention and effort they deserve. If the answer is yes, continue moving forward with confidence. If the answer is no, remember that it is never too late to start adjusting your direction. Life does not expect perfection from anyone. What matters is the willingness to grow, to learn from mistakes, and to keep moving forward even after setbacks. Every step you take toward improvement, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you want to build. And sometimes the most important step of all is simply believing that change is possible for you. If you are still here listening to this message, then there is one more truth you need to hear. The guidance symbolically associated with Archangel Michael often appears when a person is very close to a moment of decision. Not everyone recognizes these moments when they come. Many people feel the pressure to change, they feel the signs around them, but they delay action because they are unsure of themselves. They wait for perfect clarity, perfect timing, or complete certainty. But the truth is that those things rarely arrive before the first step is taken. Right now you may already know what your next step should be. Deep inside, there may be a thought that keeps returning to you again and again. It might be about a goal you want to pursue, a habit you know you must leave behind, or a direction you feel drawn toward but have been afraid to follow. That repeated thought is not random. Often the mind repeats what the heart already understands. Messages connected with Archangel Michael frequently remind people that courage grows through action. The more someone delays their decision, the heavier the fear becomes. But the moment a person finally decides to move forward, even if the step is small, they begin breaking the cycle that kept them stuck. Think about how many times in the past you overcame something you once believed was impossible. At the beginning it probably felt difficult or uncertain, but once you pushed through it, you discovered strength you did not realize you had. That same strength still exists within you today. Another important thing to remember is that transformation rarely happens all at once. People often expect their entire life to change in a single moment, but real change usually unfolds step by step. One decision leads to one opportunity. One opportunity leads to a new experience. And over time those experiences begin shaping a completely different future. This is why patience and persistence are so important during times of growth. When things do not move as quickly as expected, some people give up too early. They assume that their efforts are not working, when in reality the process of change is still quietly unfolding. The symbolism connected with Archangel Michael often represents protection and perseverance during these stages. It reminds people that every step forward matters, even when progress seems slow. The important thing is to remain focused on your purpose and continue improving yourself little by little. You may also begin noticing that certain opportunities or ideas appear in your life when you start believing in your own potential. Confidence has a powerful effect on the decisions we make and the actions we take. When someone believes they are capable of growth, they begin noticing possibilities they once ignored. So take a moment right now and think about what you truly want your future to look like. Imagine the kind of life you would be proud to build. Imagine the peace, success, and fulfillment that could come from following your true direction instead of staying trapped in doubt. The moment you begin believing that this future is possible is the moment everything begins to shift. Because sometimes the greatest change in life does not start with a miracle around you, it starts with a decision inside you. You are still listening at this moment, then there is something even deeper you need to understand. Messages symbolically associated with Archangel Michael often appear when a person is standing very close to a turning point in their life. Most people do not recognize these moments immediately. They simply feel that something inside them is shifting. Their thoughts begin changing, their priorities begin evolving, and they start questioning things they once accepted without thinking. This feeling can be uncomfortable at first. When someone begins growing internally, the old version of their life may start feeling too small for them. Situations that once seemed normal may no longer bring the same sense of peace. Conversations may feel different. Certain environments may no longer match the person you are becoming. Many people mistake this feeling for confusion, but in reality it is often a sign that you are becoming more aware of what truly matters. The guidance connected with Archangel Michael often reminds people that growth requires honesty with yourself. You must be willing to ask difficult questions about your life. Are you moving toward the future you truly want, or are you simply repeating patterns because they feel familiar? Are you building the life you once dreamed about, or are you settling for something less because change feels risky? These questions are not meant to create pressure. They exist to awaken clarity. Clarity is powerful because once